and welcome to the Pixelists. I'm Will. I'm very sorry for that, but today get excited because we're talking about the Legend of Vox Machina episode 6. So, woo! What? Okay, not cutting it out. But I have a couple of quick announcements before we get started. First and foremost, spoiler warning. I've seen all of Campaign 1, so things I talk about here could reveal things that have not happened in the show. I'll always try to be careful, though, and try to do my best to not spoil things when possible. Other than that, Twitch Watch Party. I mentioned this in the earlier videos I've done, but I decided to do it for sure. And the first one we'll do will be this Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, so whatever time that is for you. You may be saying, the episodes come out Friday. Do you have a time machine? And I will say yes, but that's not how I'm doing this. The episodes do come out Friday, but they drop on Amazon Prime at midnight UK time, which ends up being 6 p.m. Central for me. So if you're around, you want to watch the episodes, help me find some Easter eggs, or maybe just, watch together like friends, come on through. I'll link my Twitch account down in the pinned comment below. It's as simple as just showing up at that link at the right time. You will need to have Amazon Prime in order to participate, and so you'll need a Twitch account linked to your Amazon Prime. It only takes a couple minutes, but for those of you that don't already have Twitch, totally understand that that's probably more trouble than it's worth. But if that interests you, would love to have you. It may just be like 2 of us or 3 of us, but I think it'll still be fun. And moving forward, for next week in the final drop of 3 episodes, I'll probably do more than one watch party because I know people have different, schedules and probably can't make the 6 p.m. one. But I'm going out of town this weekend, so that's why I'm not going to do multiple this time. But so yeah, if you're around, if you have Twitch, or if you're willing to set it up, would love to do it with you. Would love to watch it with you this Thursday. I'm also going to link my Discord in that comment as well. If you're familiar with Discord, great. If you're not, it's, to put it very simply, it's like a messaging app in a way. You can do a lot of stuff. But so it's the Discord for my Twitch community. And again, we're very small. Don't get any wrong ideas here. But it also has channels for the Pixelists stuff. So I made a Legend of Vox Machina channel, and there'll be other channels where we can talk about the show, in a more fluid way than just through YouTube comments, if that interests you. And also, if anyone needs help, setting up their Twitch account with Amazon Prime or anything, that would be the best place to kind of ask me about it, and I could give more, thorough instructions there. But anyway, it's also just a good way to keep up with me and the channel and what we're doing. Other than that, I got nothing. Just kidding. We're going to get into it right now. All right, to kick things off, we start with this shot of a large map of Whitestone. And just the fun thing here is that this is almost an exact copy of the map Matt made originally during the campaign for Whitestone. So I'll throw that up so you guys can see it as well. All right, so here we're introduced to Archie, played by Dominic Monaghan, which a legend, You may know him from Lord of the Rings, you may know him from Lost, you may know him from 100 million other things. But again, just shout out to the insane level of voice acting in this show. But Archibald here, Archie, this is a pretty big change from the campaign, and one that I, again, totally understand makes more sense narratively for, creating this compelling story. But in the campaign, this character was not a dwarf. He was actually Archibald Desnay, and he was an old man who was an advisor to Percy's father. So he was still an ally and still someone that was, an integral part of this arc of the campaign, but they basically completely changed his actual character. And I like this change. So yeah, wanted to point that out. And then also here, this guy in the background, I don't know if it's just that he's rocking the dopest goatee mustache combo, but something about him stands out. And as I'll go on to point out a couple times in this episode, there are NPCs that are modeled after real life people. And so, I don't know, I just wonder if this guy is another one, but that one I just couldn't place. So let me know if anyone can place that guy. And speaking of NPCs modeled after real life people, here again we have Arthur Loftus's NPC showing up, and I pointed him out at the very end of last episode, but here he is again, and fortunately he's not long for this world. And next up we have the introduction of Bryn, a character played by Stacey Raymond, who is brand new. This character was not in the campaign, so Yeah, we obviously get some from them in this episode, but I'm just interested to see kind of where this goes, especially since they got, a prominent voice actor for the role. I imagine, we're going to get more than just what we got in this episode, so I'm interested to see where this goes. Also in this scene, we get the first mention of the Kestrel. Bryn is kind of reporting on the whereabouts and says that the Kestrel has been moved and is currently with Professor Anders. And there's a few mentions of the Kestrel throughout the episode. Stonefell reveals that, he's aware of the Kestrel and, he's hunting down the other spies of the rebellion in their midst. And we know from the end of the episode where we see Cassandra, she is with Professor Anders. So I believe the Kestrel to be in reference to her. All right, so next we have this horrifying sequence, very Attack on Titan, where this giant rips open the roof and brutally murders a few of them, including the Matt NPC, who you can see in the bottom right here. And this is just cool, and I'm going to show a clip from the actual campaign. But in the campaign, before coming to Whitestone, Vox Machina came across a giant's den, essentially, but it was like broken in and abandoned. And they're like, what? Like, where are these giants? And then they arrive at Whitestone to spy the giants, and except now they are these like undead abominations patrolling Whitestone.
You also notice that trolling through the city at very slow paces, there are a few larger than normal humanoids. You see what appear to be approximately 6 giants that are just patrolling through the town, but you can see some of them are like kind of wrecked and broken. One of them is missing an arm and is kind of dragging a foot behind it. And you can see
zombie giants.
And as this happens, you glance over your shoulder and you see coming from the northern edge of this side wall.
Oh, we should avoid that shit.
A very tall, noticeably undead giant with its jaw broken off and hanging in the hinge, dried caked blood across its chest, and it's just dragging this large club behind it.
All right, next up we've got Keeper Yenn, and similar to Archie, this character has been slightly changed from the original campaign. It was more similar than in Archie's case, but Keeper Yenn was a man in the original campaign, and here we have it played by the incredible Gina Torres. So once again, just another A+ voice acting shout out here. And what's interesting is in her speech, which I'll let play after I finish talking about it here, I feel like we get a nice little kind of allusion to what's happening with Percy.
Anger makes us reckless. Violence doesn't burn away the clouds, it only makes more smoke.
And here where Keeper Yenn first encounters Percy, I just love the artistic choice here to have the silhouette, but all you can see is, the yellow glint of light off his glasses, which in this case is innocent enough, but it makes him look kind of like a demonic figure, which juxtaposes nicely with how he actually looks at the end of this episode. And here we have everyone arguing over like who the leader of the group is, and everyone's talking over each other. But Grog says to Keyleth, "Have you been smoking the herb again?" And I feel like this is definitely a little jab at Marisha here. All right, so next up we've got a twofer. So this inn that they end up going into is like the secret rebel base or whatever. I believe is the Journey's Inn from Whitestone. It's one of the only named inns mentioned at this part of the campaign, and again there's been changes from the campaign to this, so it's not the Journey's End was not the rebel base in the same way that it is here, but a few members of the party go in there to kind of find out more about Whitestone, so I'm pretty sure that that's what this is. And then also we have Chris Pranowski, probably pronouncing this wrong, but this is another NPC modeled after a real life person. In this case, the president of Titmouse, the animation studio that created this show. And there is a little titmouse bird on his shoulder. All right, here we get another example of Keyleth using her Speak with Plants spell, trying to communicate with the Sun Tree. However, she cannot. She's unsuccessful, most likely due to the decrepit state that Whitestone and the Sun Tree itself are in. But if you've seen Campaign 1, you're probably thinking what I'm thinking, and I'm excited to see potential future Speak with Plants attempts, and I'm very curious as to who will be voice acting when that happens. And another great little moment in this scene is we have the, inspiration for Scanlan wanting to get a beret as part of, being this revolutionary leader. And if you didn't see campaign 1, if you're unfamiliar, Scanlan's beret is like an iconic part of his costume, for lack of a better word, his outfit rather. So this is the same way he got inspired to acquire that in the original campaign. So it's great to see it here. And from here, we do a quick check-in with Pike, and this isn't anything in particular, so put on your speculation goggles, but I just liked the framing in this scene with the design elements in the background and where Pike is standing in the foreground. To me, it makes like a giant eye, with Pike, being the iris, or whatever the part of the eye that is called. So to me, I'm thinking like maybe this symbolizes someone's watching Pike. So, currently she's trying to reconnect with the Everlight. So maybe this is, showing that even though she feels alone right now, the Everlight is indeed still with her, watching her. Or maybe it's something more sinister. We still are trying to figure out why this connection is severed. So perhaps this eye is whoever, some other entity watching her. But on that severed connection, and this is something we've talked about in previous episodes, so I'm not going to go over it again here, but the reason her pendant was broken and her relationship with her god was strained is different than from what happened in campaign 1. So something I've been wondering is, I wonder what the reason will be this time. And, we know she got pierced by Delilah's evil necromantic magic, so she's thinking maybe she was cursed. But we find out from this priestess here that there is no curse. Nothing like that could sever her connection with the Everlight. It's something within Pike herself. So, again, just still really interested to see kind of what the details are here. Alrighty, next up we get this whole planning sequence, and I just love this for a number of reasons. First of all, if you've ever watched Critical Role, any of the campaigns, you know the cast struggles with planning. They will literally spend hours sitting there arguing or, just discussing, figuring out what their next move should be. So I just love that we get this scene of kind of everyone coming up with their own plan and disagreeing on what would work. But also, and this, I may be seeing things that aren't here, but also I love the fact that, they have this map and they're using like wine corks in order to place things on the board. And to me, this screams like home D&D game. Critical Role is now at like the pinnacle of D&D, and Matt has like all the models and all the, everything you could want for, building your D&D sets. But back when they started, and I would say probably a lot of people that play D&D at home just have paper maps, and they just use whatever they have around as figures, bottle caps, corks, just quarters, anything like that. So I just love this. And so to me, this is a shout out to that. I hope maybe it's not, but that's my headcanon. And then, as I was saying, everyone in this scene kind of gives their idea of the plan, and they're all pretty great, but Scanlan's in particular. This is another shout out to Scanbo, and I'm not going to go deeper on what that means if you haven't seen campaign 1, because I'm like 99% sure we're going to get it probably in one of the episodes that's coming out in a few days. So I am very excited. But I mean, clearly his little animated guy here is ripped like Rambo. And another funny Easter egg here is, he's got these people all over him, in love with him, and the one on the right is the character from the banquet that he ribbed for, trying to come on to him, and then, was feeling some type of way during his song. Alrighty, throw on your pretentious goggles, because I've got a deep symbolic tie here that's probably not intended, but let's go with it. But also we get our first look at Bad News, which is exciting. He hasn't fired it yet, but using its scope, pretty badass. But all right, so we've got some duality here. We've got the one eye that is in the light, representing one side of Percy, and then we have the other eye that is shrouded in darkness, here because of the scope. But I just think it's an interesting portrait of Percy as a character right now. And then, coincidentally or not, the dark eye is darkened by 5 scopes, so 5 layers. And he has 5 people on the barrel of his gun that he's trying to kill. All right, here, just a really quick thing. As they're kind of determining teams for how they're going to break into the prison to try and free Archie, Vex breaks them into 2 groups, front door and back door. And I think I don't think this is a reference to Campaign 3, but I think Campaign 3, the group referenced this. So I know that's kind of confusing. And without spoilers, just there's a moment early on in Campaign 3 where the party did exactly this. They broke into two groups and were like, front door group, backdoor group. So I definitely feel like Campaign 3 was referencing this show. So just wanted to point that one out. Okay, next up, we have one of my favorite parts of the whole episode. We've got Percy, Vax, and Scanlan trying to get into this door. And as we talked about in these breakdowns, Vox Machina and doors do not get along. Doors are the BBEG of the campaign, and on multiple occasions have bested Vox Machina. What the show is adapting here is one of the most iconic doors from Campaign 1. Now, it is different than what happened in the campaign. They weren't breaking into the prison to free Archie because, like I said, Archie was like basically a different character in the campaign. So in the campaign, they were just trying to get into this temple, but this is definitely the scene they were referencing, and it's just amazing. I'm going to post the clip from the original campaign, and it's kind of long, but I think it's worth it. But this just cracked me up. You know, they tried so many things. Scanlan even gets hurt. It's just a shit show in all of the best ways.
How big is this thing that's keeping the door shut?
It's about 8 feet wide, about a foot, 8 feet long, about a foot wide, and about 6 inches thick. Big old piece of just wooden board.
Couple hundred pounds?
Percival, you were about to say that you have
Say
a bar or
probably weighs about
I do have a blade. I've never used
40,
it for
50
anything.
pounds.
40, 50 pounds?
It's wood. It's
And
porous.
how high off the ground? Could I touch it?
You can touch it. It gets to about your head, a little higher.
All right, I'm gonna try to lift it off.
Go ahead and make a strength check. Athletics. Make this athletics.
Athletics.
This is,
Not good. 12.
Oh, you know, it's not bad.
from this position, it's not even budging.
Oh no.
Right, Scanlan,
Yo, oi!
step back from the door a couple of paces. I'm going to stick a blade through the doors.
It's not gonna do much. There's a big, heavy, heavy thing. Heavy thing.
I'm going to hold on one side, you're going to hold on the other, and we'll do it together. Percy, can I borrow your blade?
I've never used this. I've had it since I created the character, and I have never used this blade once. This is the most use it's ever gotten. I pull out this pristine piece of shit. Just... I don't even remember. I think I found it in the dungeon. It's terrible.
What is it?
It's. I believe it was like it was a like boarding sword. It was one of those little curved
Right,
swords.
so a scimitar,
Scimitar,
or falchion.
yeah.
Okay.
But like short. It was nothing. It was terrible.
It's all we need.
Yeah. So get it in there.
Alright, Scanlan, grab some rags or something, wrap it around the blade. You're going to lift on your side, we're going to lift on this side.
I get the sharp side?
I can't get the handle through the crack in the door.
All right. I feel like there's some sort of spell I could use. All right, let's just do it your way.
You got that big B's hand? Is that in the
Yeah, I've got like a million things I could do,
Are
but
any of
let's
them
do it this way.
concentration spells?
That's the thing, right? Anyone
Big B's probably concentration, but I've also got a potion of strength.
Well,
What
no,
else?
seaming isn't concentration.
I thought it was.
No, you just cast it and it lasts for 8 hours.
Oh, never mind
So
then.
you don't
If you
need
wanna-
to worry about that.
No. I want to follow this through. Let's do this.
Let's keep going.
Alright, can we lift it together?
We can try.
Okay.
This is
All
the
right.
Count of
shittiest
three.
thing we've ever done.
So this is going to be the three of you as a skill challenge. I want all three of you to roll, not athletics, just a straight strength roll.
1, 2,
So roll d20.
Three.
Add your strength.
16.
Plus strength. 12. Wait, did you get a 4? 4! We're the worst! We're the weakest. Oh, I cut my hand. Oh!
Which is exactly what happens, actually.
Big B's hand.
I'm gonna take damage.
Yeah. First and foremost, you take 4 points of slashing damage
course
to
I
your
do.
hand. You pull back, and there's a line of blood now. You're gonna
Damn
rip
it,
off your
people.
hand, and you kind of shake it amongst yourself.
Send all the big strong men.
Oh, I
Can't
can't say
open the door.
goddammit in here. I'm in Pelor's. sorry, Pelor?
No,
Is
let's
that
use
Pelor,
the
yeah.
sword. I want to see
God
how
bless
this
you.
plays out.
Gesundheit, Pelor.
Man.
Man, all right. Well, geez, Louise.
Whip out the purple hand, man.
Seems like overkill. What about just a thunder wave? Can I do that?
Certainly.
All right.
Throwing everything we've got
Does
at
it
this
only
door.
affect living things, or does it affect?
Wait. Scanlan, are there any windows in there?
They said the window was broken.
Oh, there are windows. Good call. Good call.
It's a blast of thunderous energy in an area would affect living and non-living matter. Yes.
Hold on, this is stupid.
Are you sure?
We're going to the window.
Stupid.
We're going to the window.
No. Let's carry this out.
No, we're going to the window. Please do not destroy the temple.
3 hours later, we're still trying to open the door.
It's not even locked. It's just heavy-ish.
Yeah, I can Bigby's hand it. I'll just
Which
Bigby's
way
hand
to the
it.
window? I
No, he's
can
gonna
walk in
crawl.
a
There's
window.
a window. It's up there. You can make it, but
I could probably
Percy
lift
can't.
the door bar from inside.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you could probably.
With your help, son.
Yeah, but I could blast it. It'd be very dramatic.
Let's save that for later. Important
All right,
stuff. All right.
fine.
So, where's the window? Which way do I go?
So
Through the
you-
door?
It's to the right.
Yeah,
And,
there are windows shattered on both sides. They're broken a little higher up. So you either continue to break the bottom part of the window or just attempt to leap through the hole.
Yeah, I'll attempt to leap
Okay, so
through
make an
it.
acrobatics check.
The saga of the door.
Just a door, you guys. It's just a door.
25.
25. You get a running start, leap off the side, and parkour up between the between the actual. There's an extension to the side where another room is that's attached on each side of the temple towards the back.
Yes.
You leap off that wall onto the a small pillar that's holding the side of the window, and then up through the broken portion of the stained glass landing, 3-point landing on the inside. You almost land in one of the shattered piles of wooden pews with splinters and jagged pieces of wood sticking out. It's about a foot away from you, and you're like, oh, that was close. And you see Scanlan across the way. You see the altar to your right.
Hey, oi! Your stupid idea cut my hand. Builds character.
I'm gonna stay away from the altar and just skirt the wall all the way around.
Okay. You get to the door.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna try to help. You want to help me lift this thing?
With my good hand.
Come on,
yes.
shorty.
All right. All right. Have both you guys make strength checks.
All right.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna get some assistance. I call my unseen servant to assist.
Okay.
He's gonna lift with us.
Simon, with the brief burst of wind energy, a shimmering form, somewhat humanoid in shape, but still amorphous, appears
Hi, Daryl.
and begins to shove itself up against the bottom of the wooden bar. So make a check as well.
Well, that was a 6. Is that for me?
Then that's for you, and then roll and add 5 for your unseen servant.
Okay, so 5 extra to that is 11, right? No?
Roll again and add 5.
Oh, I see.
You got a 6.
4. So that's 9.
The three of you, one mystically summoned from a plane beyond your
lift
own, cannot seem to budge this single wooden door. You've defeated beholders. You've slaughtered Ithilin underneath the Underdark, deep in the
having a
belly
bad
of the planet.
day.
But this door bests you.
Man, Lauren and Travis ain't missing shit.
All right, I'm doing it. Step back.
Whip out the hand.
All right, I summon Bigby's hand, the mightiest hand that will ever unlock a door ever. Bigby's hand!
Giant glimmering purple fist appears in your vicinity. You just reaches over and it grabs the bottom of it. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Oh my god.
Come on.
12
Plus 8 to it.
plus 8, 20.
How do you want to do this?
One of its fingers just goes, and
With one finger?
the door
Overkill.
opens up, and Percy stands there looking not
Was
very
it
happy.
overkill? Because really, it took that.
It took 3 spells
it's
to
exactly
open this door! 3
It's
spells!
not overkill if you use what it took.
3 spells and I injured myself.
We took damage from an inanimate object. Oh God.
Vox Machina.
And we're back. All right, so this scene was just a quick little moment, but I loved it. It's just Vex retrieving her arrows, which is something she often tried to do, at least in the campaign, because arrows cost money. And like we said, Vex is very frugal. for lack of a better word. So she was always collecting them arrows when possible. All right, next up we have Keyleth transforming into her iconic minxie form. This is another use of her wild shape, and I say iconic, and I do believe that it is one of the iconic ones, but you know, when preparing this video, I found out that she doesn't use it after like episode 28 or 30 or somewhere around there, and that was just crazy for me to find out because I feel like she was using it all the time. But you know, I guess she eventually, you know, as she gets higher level and is capable of transforming into more powerful creatures, Minxie kind of gets left behind. But it was just cool to see this. We do get to see her turn into it in the intro for the show, but you know, that doesn't count. So this is our first real glimpse at it, and you know, it's just fun. Welcome back to the next episode of No Mercy Percy, and holy shit, this was so badass. Another moment from the campaign that was done beautiful justice, and I'll post the clip of this happening as well. But I just love this, and you know, not much Easter eggs to speak on here, but just gruesome, beautiful, and the name disappearing off the barrel. Take note of that. So it wasn't just something he carved on there. There's more to it than that.
Let me say, you were the one I was least looking forward to.
I'm going to take one last shot. I'm going to look right at him. I'm going to catch his eye. This is for the Drolos. And let me say, you were the one I was least looking forward to.
Oh, that's some cold shit.
And as a final cool little detail in this scene, we spoke about this during the Brim Scythe fight, I believe in episode 2, but part of Percy's gunslinger class that, you know, Matt came up with for transcribing it to D&D was these special shots, and one of which is a disarming shot. So I think that's what we're getting a display of here. You know, he shoots and, you know, Stonefell thinks he missed, but really Percy was disarming him. And finally in this episode, we have the glorious fluffernutter, which is a recurring thing that happened in Campaign 2, where they tried to pull off this maneuver, and this was just fantastic.
Who's got one awesome shot?
We do.
We do?
We do.
What's your awesome shot?
It's a little something we like to call fluffernutter.
I want to say yes. I just don't know if now's the time to be demoing a new thing.
Can you pitch it to us in 30 seconds or less?
A quick pitch would be really good.
Yeah. Do you have a one sheet?
Or should, you know what? Fluffernutter sounds great.
No. I'm so high right now, but I know that is not a good idea. What is it?
What are you holding?
What is that?
I'm pulling out the little keg of black powder that Nott stole from the pirate ship.
And I've got my explosive arrow knocked.
Okay.
Starting to get a picture. Yeah.
Couple quick thoughts. When we tried to blow up the tree, didn't work so well. 2,
What tree?
load-bearing beams in a closed room with no windows, so it's gonna hurt us too.
Fluffernutter.
Okay, the name is great. I'm just thinking maybe in practical use, not the best idea here.
Think about this.
I'm the only one doing that.
She throws it. I fire. It explodes. No structural damage. Only damage to the creature. That's how I see it going down.
Fluffernutter never fails to put a smile on my face, so I hope you enjoyed that clip. I hope you enjoyed this whole episode. Obviously, I had a good time making it, and of course, as always, just thank you for the support. I love the comments. I think I already said this, but I really do, so keep those coming. And this was the last episode of this drop, so there won't be any more Easter egg videos for probably like a week, because again, I'm going out of town. But maybe I'll find some time, or you know, maybe I can go Super Saiyan and crank them out once I get back. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I hope to see you guys on Thursday for the watch party if anyone's interested in that. It should be fun. And finally, the next video you can expect to see on this channel will be Campaign 3, Episode 12's discussion that Blake and I will do. And if you're watching Campaign 3, I would super encourage you to come check those out, because they're, unlike this show, since I know what's going to happen, at least on the grand scale, we can theory craft, and just that's my favorite part, honestly, is going crazy with the theories. So if you're into that, jump on over to our campaign 3 podcast videos and drop your craziest theories in the comments, because I would love to interact with you on that. But other than that, you can find us at the Pixelists on Twitter if you want to keep up with us. And yeah, that's all I got. So have a great day, because if you don't, oh my god.